I'm not real sure myself. Am I Bob the Builder or am I Con the Fruiterer? It's nearly all over. But what I have had time to do is eat, and I have eaten many of the things here, so I still am quite well qualified to inform you of what's good and what's not. And firstly though, obviously pretty horrible times down south in Victoria and the like this week. Obviously tragic for the people involved, but also this time I really feel for the wildlife and the animals. I guess given the fragmented nature of remnant bushland these days, it's very hard for them to run and hide, so I guess there's a lot of losses there too, so a bit of a tragic time. Can't help but think of Dorothy McKellar, you know, in her poem Floods, Fires, all at once. It has affected produce. Victoria is, you know, quite a strong supply area for us at this time of year. We find, I guess, with the heat, not just in Victoria but also South Australia and New South Wales and locally, lots of greens, things like lettuces and the like, have bolted due to heat stress. So lettuce this week is quite thin on the ground, not much supply. Also, you know, you would have heard perhaps in the news last week that quite a few blueberry growers lost their entire crop in Victoria. The fruit died on the tree, so they're also a little bit thin on the ground, but we do have some lovely blueberries from Tasmania. This week's special, an unusual special feature this time of year, Valencia oranges, eating quite nicely, $2.50 a kilo, yum yum. But as I've mentioned before, really this time of year it's all about stone fruit, and look, we've got white peaches. Let me tell you, they are outstanding, they're a good size. Yellow peaches, also a good size, and white nectarines, yum. Sugar plums, look, this is the second week of these. They've started to sweeten up a little bit, but I would still give them something like a 5 or a 6 out of 10 hard marking. I know, but I think fair. Still crunchy, lots of flavour, but not quite, well, nowhere near the sweetness they'll get. Grapes, the grapes are really, really good. Look, the sultanas are worth going for if you like seedless. So are the Menindee seedless, which are the larger grapes. They're lovely and sweet. Red globes, if you like a spicier flavour and you don't mind some seeds. You can see they're nice, large, round pieces. We've also got flame seedless grapes, and they're starting to eat really nicely as well. Cherries are still coming from Tasmania, so they haven't really been affected by the heat. Really good quality. We've also got amber jewel plums, very large pieces. Figs, God, I love figs. Last week's weren't the sweetest that we've ever had. They're sweetening up nicely. New season limes, quite a nice size for the price. Also some new season grapefruit, large new season lemon, and apples and pows. Nashes, roughly translate to pear. Galas, again we've got first grade and second grade. To be honest, I'd buy the second grade because they're just a few superficial marks. And these cute little Williams, look at them. And there's also some larger pieces as well. Now, of course, at the other extreme we mentioned earlier, North Queensland, where most of our bananas come from. Lots of rain, cyclones, etc. That's affected supply, so that's reflected in the price. They're nice size hands, but they've climbed $1 or $2 a kilo. Now, don't fear, I don't think we'll ever see the prices of, what was it, 2 years ago when, you know, we were paying $120, $130 a box. Won't be anything like that, but they've climbed a little bit. Avocados coming from our good mate John up at Combine. The season is coming to a little bit of an end in terms of avocados. He's got a great little microclimate up there where he manages to have fruit right at the sort of end of the season. But these are still quite well priced because we're buying straight from it. Great rhubarb from Chris at Pinehaven. Some magnificent items in vegetables. The world's best corn. Not an accredited rating, but who's going to argue with Chris? He's got a very compelling argument because they're nice and fresh, sweet and crunchy, grown locally, fully certified organic. Also from Pinehaven, these lovely round gourmet tomato. Now we've got 3 growers supplying us. Again, Pinehaven, cherry tomatoes, large pieces. I don't have any to show you here, still coming in today, but we've got cherry tomatoes coming from Jacob's Ladder, and we've also got cherry tomatoes coming from Mekor up at Chichester, another certified organic grower up there. So you have 3 different growers, 3 different local growers, beautiful cherry tomatoes to choose from. That's Robert from Jacob's Ladder. He just dropped off some Black Russian tomatoes and some mortgage lifter tomatoes. So they're really nice. So's Robert, he's really nice too. Robert tells us we get the only box of these. Now look, they're a bit dusty. If you're not used to seeing them, they're not the world's most attractive tomato, but let me tell you, in terms of flavour, you'll get nothing finer. Look, give them a go. Now this week's special in vegetables are Kens, which are at $3.99 a kilo. Again, we've got the little Lebanese eggplants and the slightly larger snow white eggplant. Also the red capsicum are of a smaller nature, as are the Lebanese cucumbers. Iceberg lettuce, we do have some lettuce, but they're solid hearts, but they're on the smaller size. Lots of really nice shallots coming from Mangrove Mountain. We've got little bags made up from meatball, and we've also got sometimes called French shallots or eschalots, somewhere between onion and garlic in terms of flavour, used very similarly to either of those. We said we were going to talk about okra this week, and I rehearsed my lines. I practice everything about okra. Well, I don't have lines, probably tell, but we couldn't get any okra. Next week maybe. Yummy red chilies, really hot green chilies, and not hot at all, but crisp and crunchy snow peas. Lovely little sugar snaps as well. Plenty of broccoli. And the spud we haven't seen for a little while. Some nice fresh dug kefla. Look, really an excellent baking, boiling potato. Quite a waxy spud. Got the lovely gourmet Dutch creams. Probably one of the nicest alongside the Nicolas. Celery's massive, so you'll be able to buy halves and quarters. Okay, because really that's too much celery. If you're looking something fun to do with the kids and productive, lovely shelling peas. They're eating very well. Nice crunchy little centres. Time for me to turn back into my other self and return to trying to be Bob. Thanks for watching. Jen, nice to see you down the beach yesterday. Nice to have you back. And talk to you all later on. Bye.